Hello, my name is George. I'm a mentor on the GATS program for 2020. Today I'll be doing a quick labs session on the topic implement private Google access and cloud NAT. Okay, the lab should last for just an hour 20 minutes, and of course you get a total of 15 marks. And of course, if you have issues in whichever of the steps you're on, simply just click on this blue button and a pop-up window will appear that will tell you what the problem is. So of course, read through the overview and the objectives before you start. I have already done that, so let's go on to carrying out the tasks in the lab. Okay, all right, so let's open the console by clicking on this button. We'll select this email. Okay, use another because I have done several labs, and so most of them, the emails are still in my records. So let me click on that. Of course, we will step through a couple of pages, a couple of windows to get things done. We accept this, we confirm this, and then we wait for the next window, and then we move forward. Okay, so the first task here will be to create, of course, always use this when signing into the lab proper. Okay, we will be creating a VPC with one subnet and a firewall rule to go with that. So let's check this out. All right, so let me agree to the terms, and then I will activate this. I often do that. Even if I don't get to use it, I do that. It saves me a lot of time. If I have to use it, it's already there. So we'll be creating a VPC. Let's go down to networks. Here, the name of the VPC is our private net, and it will have just one subnet, custom mode, one subnet, call this in this region, and then with this IP range. So let me minimize that. Let me create this. Okay, so I'll put this here, and then let's get the, I think the name is okay, sub. I think it's sub. I'm not sure, but let me confirm that. Okay, US, and this is the IP range. Okay, so this should be US, and then it's in the US Central region. Okay, and then the IP range is this. Okay, we're not supposed to enable private Google access for now. Click done, and then we click create. So the next thing we'll be doing is creating a firewall rule. Okay, so let's go to firewall, the firewalls page, and then click on this. Oh, sorry about that. Let me expand that. Oh, sorry. Let me go back here, and then okay, so we'll create this firewall rule, this name for this network, and targets all instances on this VPC, and source IP ranges, of course, this one here. So all sources coming from this range will be allowed in. Other than that, it won't be allowed in. Okay, so let's give it a name, and then come down here, pick. Okay, we still don't have that network yet, so let us go back here. Okay, let's give it a moment and refresh. It's at the bottom. Come back here and start again. Click this. Okay, put this here and pick the okay, and specify tags no, all instances in that network. So let's click this, put that one down there, and no second source filter. then we open up port 22. Okay, let's be sure, and that's the case, and then we click create. All right, so after that we will create a VM in that network VPC, in the region this and zone this, and of course this machine type. Then we'll set up the subnets for this private VPC, and of course this subnet, and then of course we move forward. Okay, so that rule is there. Let us go to Compute Engine, Instances. Okay, create. Oh, all right, so that's zone C, and check the N1 type, machine type, so that to give us exactly the type that is expected. Let me, okay, we're already zoomed in, so we'll go down to this part, network, and make some changes. We change this one from the default to private net. Of course, it picks up the only subnet present, and then we'll get rid of the external IP. Click done and click create. Okay, so give it a moment, and of course let's check this. This should be okay. We're good to go. Okay, all right, so now we SSH into that VM internal, and then see what happens from there. Okay, so it's creating, so let's remove that part. It's ready. Okay, so we will click here and go into that VM. Do I have our network issues again? Okay, let me close that window and then click create a new one so that the network will be reconnected. Okay, just give it a moment. My network is erratic today. It comes and goes, so hopefully in a few minutes we should be connected. Okay, obviously we're having issues, but let's okay, we'll connect to the instance, and then if prompted for yes, we'll type Y and then hit enter, and then for the passphrase we hit enter twice. We don't need a passphrase here. Okay, we just need simple connection setup. Okay, I'm having issues. Let me open a new tab. So whichever one comes up first, we'll use that one. Okay, so this one has come up, so this one has issues. Let's delete that one. Let's put this one here. All right, so just no need for that. Okay, so we're there. Okay, so did the command prompt change to VM internal? Let's see. It did. So we actually did connect. That's true. Now we're going to ping Google and see if we actually have access to the outside world. It should fail. Okay, so we're supposed to wait till it completes, and we will check to see how many packets, percentage packet loss we experienced. So 100%, so nothing went through. So we exit from that VM, and then we enable private Google access on our subnet. So but first of all, we've been asked to create a bucket, a multi-regional bucket, and then push something to that bucket. So let's quickly do that. Click here, go to storage, okay, create a bucket, click here to create a bucket. All right, so I would take the IP, the project IP, ID, sorry, which is unique and of course multi-regional, so we're good to go. And then click here. So this gives you an estimated cost of the type of bucket you are creating. Okay, so now time to push the image to that bucket. So we will do that in our Cloud Shell. So let's click here, drop that in, pick up our project ID once more, come here and then delete this one. Okay, and put that in and hit enter. Okay, all right, so that's done. Let's click here and see what happens. Okay, so that's the file. All right, so you can click on the name of the file and see the image if you want to. So access the image from your VM instance. Currently, which of your VM instances can access the image from your bucket? It's only Cloud Shell. Remember, the Cloud Shell is a VM instance that you use temporarily to have access to your GCP web UI. So this should be it. Okay, so now in the Cloud Shell, we will copy that same image into our location. So let's drop that there. Let's copy the project ID because that's the name of our bucket. Let's go back a bit. Okay, we delete from there. Okay, and then we paste that and then copy. Okay, so that's been done. If you do ls, you should see the image. So there you go. Access.svg is present. Okay, so we will connect once more. I would rather copy this. Okay, and then use my arrow key to look for our previous command to connect to the instance, the private instance. Okay, so when you're running commands in the shell, it has a history feature, so it stores the commands you've run previously, so you don't really need to start typing them all over again. Just use your arrow key, up and down arrow keys, and it will look for, it will flip through all the commands you've run, and of course you pick the one you want to run again. Okay, it won't work, of course it doesn't have access, so we can kill that. All right, so okay, so that's that. All right, so that didn't work. Okay, we've killed it. So let's enable private Google access. Let's go to our let's minimize this. Let's go to our network and of course the subnet in the private net, and then just click here, click edit, and then switch this on. Okay, so give it a few seconds to come online. All right, so that's that. We should be ready now. Now let's go back. Click here to check our progress. Okay, we should have 10 marks now, which we do. Now we will do in Cloud Shell for the VM internal, do the same copying. So let's go back. Let's bring this one up. Okay, so we are still in that VM, it's internal VM. So let's just use our arrow key to pick up the last command we ran and run it one more time. Okay. Okay, taking a bit. Just give it a moment. Run. Oh. Okay, I think we lost our internet connection to it, so let me open a new tab while we wait on this one to come true. Okay, if it doesn't work, we will quickly use this second one. All we need to do is SSH into the VM internal instance and then run our necessary command. Okay, so it went through it in the first instance, so it copied it. So if you do ls, so we have access svg. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's go back here, and of course we're supposed to exit, so let's exit from our VM. Okay, the connection has been closed, and then we configure NAT. So first we need to run sudo updates. Okay, sorry, apt, apt updates. Okay, that should run smoothly because oh boy. All right, so let me bring this back here and let me put it back here. So that should run smoothly because our instance that we use to run in the shell has access an external IP address, and can run this command without any issue. So let's connect one more time to our VM internal instance. Okay, all right, so we're there, so let's do the same command, apt updates. Okay, all right, as you can see, the only successful connections were for Google services. Anything other than that did not go through. Okay, so we need a NAT gateway to make that possible. Okay, so let's kill that. Okay, and go back here, and then of course we did that and it didn't work, so we've done all this, and then we configure a NAT gateway. So let's set up a NAT gateway, call this. Of course, a NAT gateway comes with a router. So let's go to network services. All right, network services NAT, then click on get started. Okay, we'll click on this. All right, to do this, pick the private network that we created earlier, or the private nets we created earlier. Click on this, and then we'll create a router. Okay, so the router will be called NAT router. So let's copy that, let's put that here and create. Okay, then come down here and hit create. All right, so this works for every instance on that private net VPC. So if you were to put any other instance there that didn't have an external IP, of course it will use that NAT gateway to get out to the internet. And of course, like we're told, the NAT mapping section allows you to choose the subnets to map to the NAT gateway. You can also manually assign static IP addresses that should be used when performing NAT. Do not change the NAT mapping configuration in this lab. Okay, all right, so let's check to see if we did the right thing. We did. We should have our full 15 marks. Okay, so that's it, 15, all 5 marks gotten. So let's connect. Okay, for in the Cloud Shell for the VM internal, try to do the same thing we did before. That is, let's see if we are connected. If we're not, okay, we're still connected. So let's clear the screen and then use our arrow keys to pick through the history, command history, and then pick the one we want. We want updates. Updates didn't work, so it didn't store that one. Okay, it did. So let's hit that one. You can see you are able to actually reach out and reach Debian sources or destinations from your private NAT, from your private instance. Okay, so we type the exit command to get rid of that one, but let me show you something. History, see that when you type history in Linux, it shows you the history of all the commands you ran. If you simply want to run any of the commands, you do exclamation mark and the number as listed out here. So I want to run this ping here. Okay, so I do exclamation mark and number 1 and then hit enter, and it runs that command. So if you have a lot of commands you've run, you know, thousands or whatever, instead of this is one of the ways you could actually look for by the commands filtering. You just do history and then grep filter, pass it into grep command, and then filter, and then find the specific one you want to run it, simply do exclamation mark and the number on the number associated with that command as seen in the output of the history command, and then you do that. Another way is Control R. You know, that will just loop through. Well, okay, so that's that. Let's exit from that. All right, so we're out of there, and then the fourth place, or the fourth thing we need to do is login. Okay, so we need to enable login. Okay, Cloud NAT login allows you to log NAT connections and errors. When Cloud NAT login is enabled, one log entry can be generated for each of the following scenarios: when a network connection using NAT is created, when a packet is dropped because no port was available for NAT. Okay, so let's enable login. Let's go to our NAT, and then here we enable, go down to login minimum ports timeout drop down. Click on that and you open up, and then under stack login select translations and errors. All right, so let's minimize this. Let's click on this. Let's click on edit. Let's go down to this, and then under here say translations and errors. Okay, so click save and then give it a moment to come up, and then we will go to stack driver login still from our NAT dashboard. Okay, so give it a okay, it's ready. Click on this, logs, stack driver login. All right, so now what next? All right, so we generate logs for that. We will connect back into our VM. Let's do this. Are we there? All right, so let's connect to our VM, and then when we're in there, we would run those update commands one more time, and then check the output for our logs. Okay, so like I said before, use your arrow key, flip through, and then run. Okay, that's one. We've run that once. Okay, we want us to exit. Let's view our logs. Okay, so okay, the logs is still coming up. All right, so do we have logs? We don't. Okay, it take a few minutes for that for the login to start showing up. So let's do an update once more. Okay, so all logs last hour, no limit. Let me put that there. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, while that is trying to log, I can just run that one down. Okay, we also check out the new preview. So let's click on this. Let's see the new look of our log dashboard. Okay, so there you go, we got lots of logs. Actually, this is even more detailed. See that? The region, US Central, the gateway name, the NAT name. Okay, so those are our logs, and this UI looks far better than the other one. Okay, so we are done with that. So we close this, and of course we end the lab. Click here, and of course leave a rating, and then comment if you wish, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Please kindly leave likes. Bye bye.